Hello, it's Andy Graham of hoboontheroad.com. I have like a project that I worked on in Kara, Togo called malarianimby.org, malaria not in my backyard.org. And today is World Malaria Day 2014. And I've been putting this off because I'm a little, I think I'm angry. World Malaria Day 2014. Okay, so what's this happens is, on today, I want to give you, I got a whole page called the, on Malaria NIMBY, I have a page called Master Plan to Eradicate Malaria in Kara, Togo, West Africa. And I want to tell you, first of all, malaria is a local problem. It's not a general problem. You can't apply just a formula to all countries and make them work. You have to take the individual community and sort of have somebody there that is a that is like a general that, in a way I think the military could get rid of malaria better than anybody. You need somebody that works like a machine and says this has got to be done and this got to be done. You got to have a leader. If you study the history of malaria elimination or eradication, there was almost always one person that was spearheading the project. Okay, I'm going to list out five different general solutions that would save millions of lives. And I've been studying in between, I don't know, in the last 15-20 years, malaria deaths have been cut in half. And malaria is actually going to end probably by 2025, whether we like it or not. Because the medicine is there. The medicine's everywhere, and the people are taking it quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker, and this is speeding up and speeding up and speeding up, and everybody understands malaria, takes the medicine, and then they're not walking around infected, and they don't give it to I got to take a person infected carries it. If they are with the disease for 20 days, or they're actually can be bit by a mosquito and carry it to somebody else in those 20 days. If they get rid of the thing in the first 5 days, they get a less time of being a carrier, like a, what do you call it? It's like they're like the well where the mosquito comes to get to the parasite and carry it to another body. Okay, these are the 5 things that I think really needs to do. And I want to tell you, I finally realized that any plan that I have that isn't working directly with the government, and if the government officials are not helping as partners in this program, it's going to be close to impossible. And if you look at a lot of the BedNet programs and all this stuff, they act like they're going to solve the problem. It only works if you can say who is the individual in that city that's working to do it. And his person is a public figure that's on record saying, I'm working on it. And any of this, because what they want to do is they want to put this all into bureaucracy and everybody makes money. Because these are jobs. These are good jobs in Africa, and they're not going to eliminate Africa. They're not going to eliminate malaria when they're a stakeholder in their job, right? So basically, you get a very, very good job, get to drive around in a Toyota Land Rover, and you're going to put yourself out of business. It's crazy. It just doesn't work that way. And but these are the things. So any program has to be a partnership between an NGO and the government. There's got to be a person, and then you're working against the stakeholders. And we shouldn't sit here and just deny that if you get rid of malaria, you're going to get rid of the BedNet corruption, you're going to get rid of the malaria medicine corruption, the hospital corruption, and all these things. These guys all make a large amount of money by treating malaria. And malaria doesn't kill the average male, female, adult. It kills a poverty-stricken baby. That's the number one, person it kills. So you're not. They don't have a voice, okay, and they really don't care. I mean, they really have no way of complaining because they're just too young and too poor and too uneducated. Okay, so the number one solution is the President of the United States, President Obama. He's a black man. He should go to all the African leaders and say, who is your person in charge of this program, and tell me how you're going to eliminate malaria. And make sure that these guys are outlining the 30 big cities in the country and exactly who's in charge of all of them, and have a person that is in charge and do it. And then hopefully we would have an NGO that comes in and says, hey, you just got a job. Because, you know, these guys will not eliminate malaria unless there's some pressure on them. It's a big business and it's a lot of money. But it's slowly going away because there's so much medicine that the people walking around carrying it are decreasing. So it's just diluting its way out of existence. Okay, President Obama should address every president, call them up and say, this would save 2 or 3, 4 million lives. I mean, this is just, I don't know, how many people die? 500 million? I forget the numbers. But the number of people that would be saved because of Obama would be just incredible. The compounding. Bill Gates is going to find the cure, if there is ever going to be a cure, or a vaccine or something like that. There is a cure. There's 13 cures, but there's no vaccine, so you can't just take a shot and do it. The shots that they give you right now, or the medicine that you take, is just really the cure, poison put in the medicine to kill the malaria every day. So you can't really take this stuff more than about 14 days, or it starts poisoning you as your brain and all that stuff. So it's just the cure taken daily. So it's just not a safe stuff. But President Obama could, okay, Bill Gates said, what you want to do is spend your money that gets the most leverage, okay? And, you know, it's like, how can we invest our money in the most efficient way? And this is incredibly smart. Now, I'll just let Bill Gates be in charge of finding the vaccine that you would take that would hopefully stop the malaria parasite from, you know, thriving in your body. Okay, second thing, we need to create, if you go to Africa, and I've been to 10 times to Africa, there are window screens for sale everywhere and very difficult to buy mosquito nets. Now people want window screens, they don't want bed nets, okay? So switch over to bed nets, and you find that a family will sleep, you know, 2 or 3 people in one bed and 4 or 5 people in a, you know, maybe in a room they may have 3 people, 4 people. A bed net is very inefficient when you start having 5 or 6 people in a house. You need to have one bed net for each person because they really need the autonomy, right? Putting window screens on each window in Africa is only about, say, $5, $6, while a bed net can cost, because they come from the Netherlands, they come from these big beds, and they say they have to be coated in pesticides, and they got to be all this stuff that by the time you're done, this thing is a boondoggle, okay? And I consider this corruption. This is basically saying that the only person that can create the bed nets is white people. And they've got Africa 100% buying into the idea that they can't do the thing themselves. These all should be, any bed nets made should be made in Africa. Bottom line. It'd create a business, it will create responsibility, and it will say that we're saving ourselves and not, again, the whites coming from Europe or America to save them. This is not a good way to look at life. We're not capable, we need help from somebody else. This is not, and this is enabling them to, and the politicians just love this thing. So, we need NGOs that just go in and start window screen businesses, start them up, put them together. We need everybody to be pushing, one way, whether it's pushing the government official, pushing the NGOs, ONGs, pushing everybody to start window screen business. So they're same as America. I am not going to have a bed net here in Indiana. We're going to put screens in the window. Treat them the same as you would treat your neighbor. Get screens in the windows and stop with this bed net stuff. It's an insult. Okay. I already said it, but the third thing was only have bed nets made in the things and only screens made inside the country. Okay, number 4 is a simplified sewer system. They have a sewer system in Africa, which is, in most countries on the planet, which is just a square box, and it goes alongside the thing, and they put these concrete lids on top of them sometimes. They need to have these, the new, I mean, I understand that they've been there for hundreds, not hundreds of years, but a long time. They need to have a closed system like America, okay? And you don't have open, because these are like breeding grounds for insects. Everything grows in these, because they load these things up. But they're basically cool and they're full of water, and it's sitting there, and even though you can't see it, it's still there. They need to have enclosed sewer systems. Okay? There's asymptomatic, I'm not going to be, there's people that have malaria that don't show symptoms. So there's like beggars, bums, and people living in the street that may be having malaria that don't die from it. And it's like no symptoms, that's the word. These people need identified, so you need to basically test every single person that's sort of a street person in every village, okay? And it's really, if you study it, that's one of the biggest, highest ways of getting rid of malaria quickly, is you get rid of this carrier that is just walking around, sleeping in the streets and getting bit, and then somebody gets malaria, getting bit, but this person doesn't die. So there's people that don't die from malaria but are carriers, and these people need identified. And truthfully, if you wanted to get rid of malaria in a whole village, you just test everybody in the whole village or city, and you'd whack it really hard right before the dry season, right? See, the dry season, there's no mosquitoes. You test everybody during the dry season, boom. You can eliminate malaria. Eradicate and eliminate are sort of technical terms by the World Health Organization. Okay, larvicides is a much more efficient way than bug sprays. I think Ghana right now has a larvicide factory, and they're getting help from Cuba, because really this is saying, let's get the job done. If you can manage your water, put larvicide on the water, you will kill the. You don't need sprays. You need to kill the eggs. The eggs, you can kill 100 eggs in one spot while you're spraying it all over the place, right? You can't spray the whole air, but you can spray the top of all the water with larvicide. And they have actually some really biodegradable larvicides out, and Ghana's got one. They're doing it with Cuba. They're going to try to make us look stupid, right? And they do. I mean, larvicides are much more efficient. I mean, in America, when we got rid of malaria, we put like petrol and oil on top of water, and there's different things that you put on top of water. But these are my solutions. I will say that, I'd kind of like the Babel breaker. I got this product that's not a product, it's an invention, which basically is a repeating message that would say the message. There's 3,000 languages in Africa, and they need the message told to them verbally. They don't need to have these big posters by UNICEF up on the wall or the World Health Organizations in French when everybody in the city speaks a way, or they don't read it all or whatever. And they just ignore them. They just learn to ignore signs. But you can have little speaking signs where they basically just repeat the message over, like je veux moustiquaire, I want a mosquito net. If you want to buy a mosquito net, go here. If you want free medicine, go here. You must take your medicine quick, or you can give it to your family. Things in different languages, and it could say it in French, in the local 2 languages of Africa, and the languages in Africa change every 100 miles. So it's really quite sad, because to me, everybody wants a government contract. And if you see the whole industry of the malaria thing, they're all getting government contracts where somebody else buys their mosquito nets. It's not the local people buying it, and they're really acting like the only person that can solve the problem is Europeans or Americans. And it's an insult. And they need to really push. Treat them equal. Hey, solve your problem. Equality is not. This is the sad thing about equality. Equality, you're never equal with a person when you're telling them what to do, or you're saying you have to buy from me. And that's Mickey Mouse way of getting around things. It's like the only solution is if they have to believe that they have the solution. Any country that suddenly believes that they're going to stop malaria stops malaria. And until that shifts to the burden, that's why President Obama could do wonders for Africa. Do I think he's going to do it? No, because I don't think he wants to be even associated with Africa, because it makes his social status and presidential status and everything go down. But he's in his 2nd term. Come on, do it now. You know, you don't need to get elected again. Because when you talk about Africa, it's kind of sad. It's like we're talking about the slums. And Africa's a really, just like South America, Central America, it's just a normal place like anywhere else. And that's where the biggest malaria is. But I mean, Central and South America and Asia's getting rid of malaria because I think they just got tired. They just got tired of dealing with the headache of it. I mean, at some point, you know, the best thing that could ever happen, is, really sadly, is when the president, I think, what was it, like Zambia or something, or one of these countries in South Africa, the brother died of one of the presidents or something like that. Hey, he's going to get rid of it. And sad, you know, because, you know, you can die as an adult if you have like a weak heart or you get really fast and you have some other things couple problems with it. It's a parasite. It's a little animal that lives in your body and you need to take poison to cure it. There's 13 cures for malaria, and don't ever what you do just buy into all this crap that there's no cure for it. There's many cures. There's just no vaccine. And don't take this medicine that they tell you to take when you're going there. Take it no longer than about 14 days or you'll start to go crazy. It's a poison. The military stopped using it. Okay, Andy Graham, World Malaria Day. These are my solutions. If you want to get on malarianimby.org, the page is called Master Plan for Elimination of Malaria. But Master Plan to Eliminate, Eradicate Malaria in Togo, West Africa. But it applies, the kind of plans adapted applies to any city in Africa. And you have to find that one person coupled with the government working together to get these things done. If you don't have the government in partnership with this is really difficult. Well, you have to be highly funded, which I'm not. On that page, I have about 100 different things to do, so I'm just giving you the highlights. It's that's why it needs a person. It's 100 different things that need to be pushed on all at the same time.
We can pack up tomorrow, tonight let's flip